through the highways till my shadow turns to sun rays.
Dog is barking. Hey guys, it's Nika here. Welcome to my channel. In this video I'm going to be sharing my Turkey Istanbul trip tips with you guys. So I would like to start this video off by saying never have I ever traveled to a country where the people are so helpful. I found myself not feeling tense or worried because everybody there was so helpful, and even if they didn't speak English they would still direct me. I've left Turkey, even though I had some downs, I left Turkey with a very good outlook on the country and on Turkish people. So I'm going to start off advising you guys on transportation. In order to get around, I never used Uber on my trip. Usually I would use Uber because I love Uber. This time I decided to rather go with local transportation because Turkey pretty much has a really good local transport system. I did use a taxi once, a local taxi, and I found that they're good taxis, they're clean and everything. Don't really speak English much, but they'll get you to where you want to go. But I found it to be pretty pricey and expensive when you can use the other forms of transportation like the tram or buses. Buses there are very clean, very modernized and pretty good, and safe as well. So the first thing I advise you to do is when you get to your hotel, ask them for a map that shows all the tram lines so that you know exactly which town you're in. So if you want to go to a different area, you know exactly where you're going and you can see all the sites on the map so you know how to get around. I really struggled in the beginning. I stood by the tram station. I stood by this one machine which everyone was going to, and I thought that's where I'm supposed to get my Istanbul card from. And no, it wasn't. I met this amazing Lebanese girl who helped me, and she took me to this little store, and I believe that there's a bunch of stores that you can buy, like any little shop kind of thing. You can ask for an Istanbul card. I put 20 lira onto it, and that got me around quite a bit. So and anyway, if you go to any tram station, they have machines where, that was where I was actually supposed to like reload my card, but you have to get a card first. If you are struggling to find a place to get a card, then just ask your hotel, they're going to help you with it. Most of the time in Turkey, hotels will help you with whatever you need. This is what it looks like as of 2017. This is a map that I used to get around. It shows all the tram lines, it shows all the sites, both on the European side of Turkey and on the Asian side, and it shows you where the tram lines go. Your hotel will definitely have all these different types of maps and pamphlets to help you out. Pretty sure you can get a museum card from your hotel as well. They can organize it for you, but I got mine when before I went into the Hagia Sophia. I paid about 85 lira and I got my museum card. My museum card basically allows me to go into a number of different museums all over the show. For 5 days you can go into any museums, so that pretty much sets you up to get entrance to most of the places you want to see, and I think 85 lira is a really good price for all the options that you would have, and for the amount of time they give you, it's pretty good. So I recommend you get a museum card. Those are the two things. I think when you get to the airport, actually, this is the best thing to do. When you get to the airport, go straight and get your Istanbul card and try and see if you can get a museum card. For the Blue Mosque, you don't need to pay entrance. It's free to everybody, but of course everyone, you have to dress modestly. They have a way, like a system of what you should wear and how you should, like a dress code basically. And for men, no shorts, and for women, of course, no shorts, no short sleeve shirts, and you need to wear a scarf. Anyways, if you guys don't have the right clothing, they give you this thing basically before you go in. They inspect what you wear, and they give you like an outfit kind of thing, and they give you a scarf to wear. Doesn't look the most appealing, but you know, if you don't have the stuff and you're just there and you aren't dressed appropriately, you don't need to really stress, because they'll give you something. They'll give you like something to wear over your clothes. I do want to say, guys, that you must understand that you're in a Muslim country, and aside from being a Muslim country, you're in a mosque. So, you know, have respect for people there, because there are actually people on the other side who are actually praying. And I did see, like, there was a woman when I went in there, she just took her scarf off, and I looked at her and I was like, because I feel very strongly about respecting other people and respecting what they believe in. And if you're gonna go to a certain place and if you're really interested in that place, then you should also kind of just go with the flow and go with what's normal there. Before you go into the mosque, you have to take your shoes off, and they give you like a plastic bag to put your shoes in. When you get out, you can put your shoes back on. But otherwise, it's a really beautiful place. It's really something you have to see if you're in Istanbul. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. Felt very connected with the history behind the Hagia Sophia, because they've turned it into a museum, and you can see all the Islamic things. You can see like it being a mosque, but then you can see on the walls, you can see all these very old like paintings and pictures of or images of Mary and Jesus. There is the big bus service in Istanbul. I have the pamphlet over here, and I think that you could just get this from your hotel. You could just pay for it, and it's a 24-hour you know, system that they have. I love Big Bus. I love the company because it's like worldwide, and you can go to so many different sites using that as your transportation, as your form of transportation. Across from the Hagia Sophia and the Blue Mosque, which is in Sultan Ahmed area, I hope I said that right, is the Basilica. For the Basilica, you cannot pay with your museum card. It's separate. I paid here, it says 20 lira. As of 2017, I paid 20 lira. It's basically this underground water storage place that they used to have. I think it's really beautiful. I think it's really interesting. It's like you're in a completely different place when you go in, when you go underground and you go down the stairs. It's almost like you're just in another world, because it's like you forget that just above that is this like whole city with people walking around everywhere. I went to this basically where you can see these different men basically dancing in these kind of like long skirt kind of things, and it's kind of like it's not a Muslim thing. I've spoken to people about it. It's more like a cultural kind of thing where they feel like when they do this dance, they've combined music and poetry and dance together. They believe they have some sort of a connection with God, and so it's very interesting. It's very beautiful to go see. This is called Hagia Pasha. Basically Hagia Pasha shows. It was amazing, but the only downside about this, before you go for this specific one, I don't know if it's for all, I was really upset about it, is you cannot film. You cannot take pictures, you cannot film, nothing. So for the Bosphorus cruise, I didn't take a tour, and I feel like it's a little bit unreasonable to take a tour, but if you do, then that's great, because you might get a package where it might be like a dinner cruise where they have like belly dancers. Just went to the dock where all the boats are. I looked for the ticket office and I bought a ticket for 15 lira. It was really cheap compared to taking a tour. When you go to the Galata Tower, I just want to warn you guys, before you go, expect to be walking uphill. It's very steep. You will feel like you're working out, so just expect to walk uphill. Turkish street food is generally cheap wherever you go. I stayed in Fatih for 2 nights, or for a night, and I found that in that area Turkish street food is very popular and is really good. I find it just depends on where you go, what type of restaurant you're going to, will depend on the prices, but I definitely found the street food to be really good and really affordable. Fatih. I want to talk about this area because I stayed in this area. I booked my first hotel in this area. Fatih is not a good area to book your hotel in. I'm gonna do a whole video explaining my horrible experience with hotels in Turkey, and how I finally got to a good hotel, but Fatih is not a good area. I'm sorry to say, guys. I've spoken to Turkish people as well, and I've asked for their advice, and they've told me that Fatih itself is not a good area for tourists. It's not a good area because it's not really close to everything, and the hotels, the quality of the hotels are not really that great. Ended up staying in Gulhani. It's like it's an area right close to, or right next to, Sultan Ahmed. I stayed at the Turkish Mansion Hotel. I found out about this hotel through Girl Traveler. She did a whole review on this hotel. You can go check it out. But it's a very good hotel. people are very helpful. I'm going to talk also about stray animals. I noticed in Turkey they have cats everywhere and dogs everywhere. Now, living in Kuwait, having cats, stray cats, is a very normal thing for me, but I did find in Turkey that the cats are really fat, so that made me happy. I never saw any suffering cats, I never saw any half-dying cats. I do find that Turkish people, they feed like the street animals, they don't just leave them there. I did come across some dogs that were like limping or sick or just very old. But most of them have tags, and when I asked why they have tags, basically it means that they've been operated on, that basically the ministry has, you know, sterilized them so that they cannot reproduce and have puppies and so on. So that's a good thing, that they're trying to control the amount of street dogs that are there. If you're looking for a good hotel, look at Sirkechi Mansion Hotel, because they literally saved my whole trip. They made my experience in Turkey good, from being not good to really great. So look at that hotel, check it out. If they're overbooked or anything like that, just look at that area that they're in, because that area is a really great area. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope that you have an amazing trip to Turkey. I hope my advice was good. If you have any questions, please comment down below. If you like this video and you want to see more of my travel tips, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to see more of my videos. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.
Close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun.